Ah, we found Titan and Analyst. Why not both, I guess? Well, we definitely can win here pretty easily, and there's like a million ways to do it. I think that we're gonna win this turn. It's just a feeling that I have, but I think we're gonna win this turn. Hello and welcome, everybody. Today, we are playing Aftermath Analyst and Amulet once again. However, this time we're doing it a little bit differently than last time. Recently, some pro players or very good Amulet Titan players have been trying to play Analyst without Dryad, playing Spelunkings instead, because obviously you need an Amulet in play for your Analyst thing to go crazy, and Spelunking is just really good in this deck, as I hope we'll see in the league. And it also means that you don't have to play Dryads and Valakuts in the deck, and cutting Valakut gives you room to play some more tech lands. I've made quite a few changes since the last time that I played the deck. I am now playing the copy of Urza's Cave, as I've seen it be very good whenever I've watched people play it in their lists. I've also made the switch to Kessig Wolfrun over Oran-Reef, mainly so that I can justify cutting the copies of the Mycosynth Gardens, because really, in this deck, getting up to 2 Amulets is just enough, and you can easily do that by just having an Urza Saga and an Amulet, or, drawing an Amulet later into the game. And we also are playing 2 copies of Malevolent Rumble, which can actually help us find an Amulet, or any other permanent. I decided that making a split of Rumble and Explore would help justify trim the 3rd Summoner's Pact, as we have more consistent access to our threats through Rumble, but it also gives us a little bit more value off of our Analysts if we do happen to draw them later in the game. Rumble will help set up for that better. It'll also help us put cards in the graveyard to get Delirium for Shifting Woodland, and makes us more consistent on our threats in general, so it's fantastic for all of those purposes. I'm experimentally trimming down to only 2 copies of Arboreal Grazer, as in this deck, the small one shot of mana usually is actually not that super relevant. We have the 3rd Grazer in the sideboard in case we play against a deck where having the blocker really matters, but the reality is blocking is not really mattering that much in Modern right now, and Ragavan specifically, one of the big reasons to even be playing Grazer at all at this point, is almost not played in the format. It's very uncommon to play against Ragavan. We're playing the 7th bounce land, as I was missing having access to more than the 6 that we had before. It felt like we never drew them. We are still playing the 3rd Lotus Field, but I've actually opted to play the 2nd Echoing Deeps also, not only because we occasionally will be milling things with our Malevolent Rumble, but also because when you start to Analyst combo with Lotus Field, having an Echoing Deeps in the graveyard, or sacking an Echoing Deeps to the Lotus Field and then bringing both of these back, your Echoing Deeps will be able to enter as a copy of Lotus Field. So I felt that on occasion you might even want the 4th Lotus Field, just because you kind of naturally have to draw it to make Analyst and Lumra good, but you don't actually want to literally have the 4th Lotus Field, because oftentimes they can be awkward draws. Whereas if we just happen to have drawn an Echoing Deeps and have it in play, or happen to mill it over with Malevolent Rumble, then it can double as our extra copy of Lotus Field to make it extremely consistent to be able to go off with Analyst, especially if we only have 1 Amulet or just a Spelunking in play. Having the 2nd Echoing Deeps as a pseudo Lotus Field number 4 will allow us to more consistently be able to combo off with our Analysts. And we are, as I mentioned, playing 1 copy of a Lumra as opposed to the 3rd Aftermath Analyst, just so we have a little something extra to be able to mess around with. We can combo this with Mirror Pool, making copies of it, even though it is legendary, to continue to loop back our lands and do something similar to, if we were to go through an Analyst combo. But on top of that, Lumra is just a gigantic creature with Vigilance and Reach, so it allows us to have a big dude to attack into our opponent's board and also still have a blocker. I'm not super sold on the card, but I think it might be better than having the Analyst number 3, we'll find out. And and it also will mill 4 when it enters, just like Analyst does, so it helps us set up our Echoing Deeps / Lotus Field combo. And then the sideboard is kind of interesting. We're playing a bunch of copies of Defense Grid, because blue-black Murktide is kind of our deck to beat. It's the hardest matchup for us, other than maybe Storm, which we're just hoping to dodge, if I'm being completely honest. Defense Grids and a Sky Turtle to be able to bounce our opponent's Blue Magus is something that we're interested in, and we have the extra copy of Analyst here, as Analyst tends to be really good against the control decks. So we've got that kind of package of cards to bring in against control. We've got Fire Spouts for the Boros matchup, we've got the extra Grazer for whenever it matters, and we've got some lands that we can bring in to replace Saga if we're trimming copies. Specifically the 3rd Shifting Woodland, as oftentimes in post-sideboard games, Shifting Woodland is one of the most important cards to have access to. Just randomly happening to have a Shifting Woodland in play means that top decking an Analyst or Lumra might allow you to just be able to win the game on the spot. just because you have the extra woodland, and so it's just a good card to bring in lieu of Urza's Saga, so we're playing that. We also have the extra Boseiju and 4 forests to be able to play through our opponent's Blood Moons, but since sometimes these Boros decks will sometimes rely on Blood Moon to just straight up win the game, we do have 1 copy of Foundation Breaker as a potential pack target against them. I don't anticipate we'll ever really be siding out the 2 Summoners packs, so might as well have 3 copies of Foundation Breaker against the decks that can really only beat us with Blood Moon. So one thing that I'm curious about is if it would be correct in the future to play a couple copies of Dismember in the sideboard. Right now, I'm choosing not to because I think that it's very easy for Dismember to be dead against the blue-black decks. It's not a particularly good sideboard card there, and there's not a lot of Mages in the Moon going around, so I'm just hoping to lean on Foundation Breaker and our Boseijus and 4 natural basic forests to be able to play through that. And yeah, without further ado, let's jump in for match 1. Alrighty, looks like we're on the play. We have a turn 1 Saga, turn 2 Vesuva Saga hand. That's not too bad. Turn 3 Ring here. We'll keep it. Don't know what we're mapping for at this point. Alright, let's play Saga. And I am going to go ahead and map as well, I think. Alright, we have a DRC. We just naturally draw Saga, that's interesting. Well, I am just going to play Saga out here. What would we want to map for? You know, I'm not really sure, to be honest. Alright, we got a Foothills Crack and Goblin Lore, okay. We could maybe just map for Talaria West. I don't think that's the worst. Ox of Agonus. Agonus, and a Hollow One, okay. Well, we luckily do have a Boseiju to deal with the Hollow One, which is pretty nice. Although next turn we'll just be playing the Ring. We could always map for Lotus Field, perhaps, or like Shifting Woodland, or even Urza's Cave is not bad. I feel like it's probably never bad to go for Shifting Woodland. Urza's Cave is maybe the safest, but I don't know. I think we should map here because it uses our mana. I guess if we get Lotus Field, that sets up an Analyst if we draw it, whereas, I mean, Woodland's also really good for that too, though. I don't even know what we want to get here, to be honest. I guess maybe just Woodland? I think Woodland is fine. Hey, there's a Lotus Field. That's interesting. Well, now we have everything we pretty much need for the combo, and let's go ahead and play, I guess, Simic. I guess we could have maybe mapped for Crumbling Vestige so we could play Ring this turn without having to return a land. That is fine, though. I guess we don't necessarily have to... We could play Woodland this turn and then Boseiju this and then have Ring next turn. I don't really think that makes a lot of sense, though. I'm just going to jam the Ring. Maybe mapping for Crumbling Vestige would have been good. I don't know. I think it's pretty marginal either way. All right, Grazer's a good pickup. Means next turn we can do Analyst or Titan things, depending on what we draw. I'm pretty sure if our opponent makes us draw 3 and discard 3 at random, that would literally be only helping us. Spelunking ain't bad. Let's float here, go grab an Amulet, and let's go ahead and start by drawing. I don't even know if this deck plays Bowmaster. Guess they do. We don't really care about this, like, literally at all. Ah, we found Titan and Analyst. Why not both, I guess? Well, we definitely can win here pretty easily, and there's like a million ways to do it. So we can go Lotus Field, float green, Grazer and Deeps, copy Lotus Field, play Titan, or we can go Lotus Field green, play Titan, search for, I guess we can copy it with Mirror Pool, and then we need to get the Woodland in place, so I guess we then play Woodland, or we Grazer in Woodland, perhaps. Then we can play Aftermath Analyst after and be able to go infinite with Analyst Mirror Pool Titan. Titan can set us up with our second Lotus Field so that when we start looping Analyst, we're making plenty enough mana. Although with 2 Amulets, we probably only need 1 Lotus Field if I'm being honest. Right? I think it's going to be Lotus Field into Titan into... They only have 3 card types, so I guess we don't have to worry about them having access to Unholy Heat. We'll make green and green and sacrifice the field, play Titan, leaving green floating. I don't think there's anything at 1 mana or 0 mana that we really need to be worried about here. So we'll say yes to this. We'll get our Mirror Pool and second Lotus Field. And even if none of this worked, we could still Grazer in Echoing Deep's copying Lotus Field and still be able to do Aftermath Analyst things, most likely. That would be 6 mana. Yeah, we could play and crack Analyst and go from there, so I think we're good pretty much no matter what here. Let's make green with this. We'll copy our Titan. Okay, so this is good. So now we can get Woodland Urza's Cave, perhaps? I think that works. Cave will let us set up whatever we need to in the future here. We still are going to have to sacrifice this Lotus Field, but that's fine. I don't even think we need to cast Grazer here, since everything is just going through. And we'll sack the Lotus Field and the Cave, so that we leave Woodland in play. All right, now we sack the Field and Cave. And I guess we're supposed to probably Grazer in the Deeps as well here. I think having the Echoing Deeps in the yard will make it a little faster to combo. So we'll put this in copying Lotus Field. Actually, we can sack the Shifting Woodland here, no problem, because we're just going to bring it back with Analyst. So float green, float, doesn't matter. Now we play Analyst, and then we pop Analyst and bring everything back. All right, triggers. I think at this point, I'm just going to copy Mirror Pool with the Echoing Deeps, just so we can make these copies go a lot faster. There we go. All right, game 2. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and sideboard like this. These things out, and these things in. Well, this hand would be great if we had a green source. We can also draw a bounce land, and it's pretty good, so I'm going to try this. Might be a little loose, but got the turn 1 channeler. Okay, and then Mishra's Bauble to go along with. Not bad. We have natural Bojuka Bog to punish this, though, so that's cool. Oh, and a Phoenix that we're going to exile, too. Please bobble us now. Please, 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 please. Yes! Oh, you thought that you had turn 1 Delirium. Did you? Is that what you believed? How foolish. How foolish. Goodbye, opponent's graveyard. Echoing Deeps is not a bad draw, per se. Ugh. Man, seriously, again, fetch Phoenix Bobble, huh? Our opponent agrees that that's pretty, outrageous. All right, we're getting attacked for 3. I mean, so far we're not under too much pressure. No hollow ones. That would be, I think, the biggest fear at this point. Green source. Green source. Basic forest. Please and thank you, deck. Basic forest. It would be funny if we drew Vesuva to bog them again, though. That would be pretty funny. Oh, it's so close. I will take it, but it's not untapped. But, I mean, I'm not gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm just gonna accept the Shifting Woodland and live my life. Play Spelunking next turn, quite possibly. Oh, they have Bowmaster. That's really, really good against our hand right now. We have 4 cards that draw a card. Interesting. Strike 1 against Explore, and strike 1 for Rumble. Another Bowmaster. Man, our hand sucks. Our hand is the worst. Man, are we even supposed to play Spelunking next turn? That depends on if we draw a Lotus Field or not. Burning, oh my goodness! No! Burning Inquiry is just like shoots us for 6 damage here. Goodbye, Hanmir Echoing Deeps. Yikes, okay. We got a Rumble. We can Rumble and Explore, perhaps. Rumble making us a chump blocker, maybe? Jeez, are we taking 8 from the token this turn? Holy crap. Okay, well, we're freaking dead. Sucks to be us, I guess. Alright, so we're cutting these 3 to make room for 3 Fire Spouts. Alright, be on the play. I mean, okay. We have a Besager to deal with a hollow one if they have a hollow in hand, so we're going to keep this. And we'll lead on Forest, I suppose. All right, our opponent has Fetch into DRC, perhaps. Yep, there we go. That's one thing our Fire Spout will sweep up. Bobble. Leave on top, I guess? Yeah, they put a card on top with the Bobble. That's interesting. Maybe they're looking for second land here. Summoner's Pact. Okay. I'm just going to play Cruel Turf here. That means next turn we can Fire Spout, perhaps, or we can Spelunking into Bog, depending on what goes on. Probably Spelunking into Bog is going to be the play. Damping Sphere. Well, there will be no Spelunking today. I guess now we're just going to Beseiju the Damping Sphere and untap. Well, alright, we have Forest Go. We'll Beseiju this Damping Sphere on instep and then untap with either Fire Spout or Spelunking, depending on what occurs. We have Blood Crypt Shock. We'll take the 1. Totally fine by me. Nethergoyf. That currently dies to Fire Spout. Oh, I did not... Come on, man. Are these all ground creatures? Because... dang it. Alright. I wanted to... Would have been so freaking good. We would have been able to kill their whole board. Okay. Well, I guess we're just going to cast Spelunking then. I guess we're going to cast Spelunking. Goodness, that sucks. And I guess we need to bog them. And then this upcoming turn, we can Beseiju the Damping Sphere and then play Fire Spout. Or potentially Titan. Just go Beseiju, Lotus Field, play Titan. Reasonable. Fetch Shock again. Man, are they using all their mana this turn? Goblin Lore? Okay. That's really, really good. Huh. Jesus. Okay. Burning Inquiry also. Alright, well, we have a 1 ring now. And we still have Beseiju, so 6, 12, 15. So we're not dead. Okay. So we have to win this very turn, is what you're saying. Right, well, let's start by Beseijuing this Damping Sphere, for sure. We can get a Titan. I guess we could Lumra here, if we still have Lumra in deck. No, I boarded out the Lumra. Does Analyst do anything here? We have a Woodland in the yard. We'll let them surveil here. I think it might be Lotus Field into Pact for Analyst, because we can start looping Woodland with it, and then be able to play 1 ring after. I think that's going to be the play. I guess if we're doing that, we want to Pact for Analyst first, since we don't have very many copies of that in the deck at the moment. In fact, we just have the 1. Let me make sure I'm clicking the right thing here. We have the 1 Analyst, so we'll do that. Here's the Lotus. We'll have it enter untapped for sure. We'll float green here. Sack the Lotus Field for sure, and I guess the Boseiju to rebog them. I think that's fine. Here's Analyst. We'll mill, and then we'll go ahead and activate, all right? And we'll have everything enter untapped, all right? We'll stack this, and we'll go ahead and bog them again, all right? So let's float green here, and then float, I guess... Actually, we'll just sack the Lotus Field and the Gruul Turf, and then we can copy with the Woodland, but then we won't have enough to do everything again. So now we just play the One Ring, and we'll draw. And then we get to Endurance next turn. We're coming back. We're at 3, though, so I guess we lose to a Bolt. Not much we can do about that, though. Another Damping Sphere is pretty good. Luckily, we have the Boseiju and Bounce Land to deal with that, so they mill over a Hollow One. Okay. Let's yield until their attack phase. I think we're gonna snipe away a game here because of Endurance. They can fetch, no attacks. Okay, that's very interesting. I am going to Endurance them. There's every possibility that we could lose to Bowmaster here if we draw with the ring. Don't know if I still have map in deck. I think I boarded it out. Let's go ahead and lose our 1 life here. And then we'll pay for this. I think we'll pay with the Saga also. Nah, we'll pay with the Battlements. Might want to activate Saga, potentially. Hey, we just draw the Boseiju. Not bad. Okay, so what can we actually do with this, though? We Boseiju this... If we Boseiju anything, we grow their Nethergoyfs again. I think maybe we just make a Saga token here. Play maybe Bounce Land to pick up Boseiju and pass or something like that. We make a token. I mean, all they have to do is fetch to give their Goyfs a power, and then we can't really win. So I think we just have to draw with the ring here to see what we're going to see. I guess we're going to search for Saga either way, though. So I think we actually have to float with Saga, get an Amulet, and then draw with the One Ring to make it maximum chance that we find something that we need here. We definitely would have won this game if we were able to end of turn hit the Damping Sphere with our Boseiju. That misclick was unfortunately very costly. All right, let's draw here and see what we find. We found TOS Razor. Okay, so if we Boseiju, play Bounce Land, we could pick up Bog, it doesn't really do much. So if we Boseiju their thing, play Grazer, and then Growth Chamber twice, and Transmute Tolari West, we can pact for a second Arboreal Grazer. So we have 3 blockers, and then but then we lose to our ring. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Unfortunate. Yeah, we're just dead. Well, that sucks. All right, we'll jump in for game 2 here, or match 2. I definitely think we would have won that if I had not misclicked through the end of turn Boseiju. I think we easily untap and win that game. That's kind of frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. All right, we're on here for the play. We got a great hand, so we'll keep it. Hopefully our Aftermath Analyst hits are good. Play turn 1 Amulet. Because we can go turn 2 Ottawara Analyst, turn 3 play Gruul Turf and activate Analyst, and depending on what we hit, that might be enough to get to Titan mana. Wouldn't be impossible. Ooh, Ugin's Labyrinth, exiling Breaker of Creation, and a Talisman. Okay. So we're playing against Eldrazi, green Eldrazi. Vestige ain't bad. We don't need to do that now, though, so we'll just go ahead and play Ottawara and Analyst, set up for next turn. We did hit a Lotus Field, so if we play Vestige, crack Analyst, it's just putting a Lotus Field into play. It's not doing much, so we still needed something a little more than that. We could just top deck a Echoing Deeps or Lotus Field here and then start Analyst comboing our opponent. See what they have. Thought Knot Seer wouldn't really matter here. We could draw a ring and just cast it next turn. That would be nice. Ooh, even Rumble would be really good here. In fact, we could Rumble, mill over some stuff, play Vestige, have 2 from the Vestige plus 1 from the Spawn, pact for Grazer, putting Gruul Turf, and activate Analyst, and go from there. So Rumble would be a pretty good draw, too. Opponent's playing a Myco Spawn, it looks like. Yep. So they'll search for a land here. I guess they could bog us, potentially. Nope, just Eldrazi Temple. Okay, that's not scary to me at all. I'm not finding anything great just yet, though. So I guess we're going to play Vestige and pass. Float a green here. I wonder if there's a way to actually Titan last turn using Analyst. We could have played... No, we played Vestige. No, we were 1 short. We're not blocking with the Analyst, that's for sure. Our opponent is probably holding up a Kozilek's command now at this point to interact with our Analyst by exiling our graveyard at instant speed. Wouldn't be surprised. They could also just exile the Analyst right now, which is arguably better. All right, we're getting a kick to Myco Spawn, it looks like. Perhaps. A World Breaker. Similar. Getting our Amulet. That's unfortunate. That is not great for us. All right, well, all right, now we might be chump blocking with Analyst. I don't know. I wish I had like a Dryad or a Zusa to pack for right now. In fact, that would have been good this whole game, pretty much. I guess we're playing Simic, pick up the Otawara, and then next turn we can Otawara to bounce something. I guess if they have another Myco Spawn or World Breaker, then our Simic Growth Chamber is not long for this world, but not much we can do about that. I think we are chumping with the Analyst at this point. I don't think it's getting much better. There's a kicked Myco Spawn. Alright, I guess we just lost the game then. Alright, I think for this game we're going to move away from the Analyst combo a little bit because they do have Kozilek's command, and we're going to bring in these three. Be on the play. And this hand is awful. Alright. We can go turn 1 Otawara, turn 2 Vestige into Rumble, and try to find a land. Then we'd have to claw our way into Spelunking and a Ring on like turn 4. I think we can just do better. Well, this hand would be great if we had an untapped land, but we don't, so I guess we're mulliganing again. Alright, this hand is good. We'll keep it. Bottom Analyst, I think, and one of the Titans. Go for a turn 3 Titan here, I guess. Hopefully they don't have the Haywire Might. Play Amulet Pass. Second Amulet lets us turn 2 Titan here. Utopia Sprawl. Interesting. Choosing blue, by the way. Let's see. So we have 4. If we were to pack for Grazer, we would be up to 5, which is not quite enough. So we're playing Gruul Turf here, picking up our Vestige and passing. This pact is actually really good for a backup threat in case our opponent has Thought-Knots here. I would take a Ring as a top deck. That wouldn't be bad. But it has 3 mana? Kiora. So they're untapping their Utopia. Oh, they're just doing nothing. Okay. Splunking is not bad. So now we can Vestige, pack for Grazer, put in Lotus Field, and have Titan. So I do think that having Titan is not a bad choice here. Float green. We'll pact. Get our Arboreal Grazer. All right. And we have 1 Titan coming into play. We have to sacrifice our Vestige and Gruul Turf, but it's a price I'm willing to pay. I'll go Always Yield and yes. Let's go ahead and get our... I guess we could get Bounce Land Hanweir, perhaps? I think that's probably okay. Our opponent next turn is going to have potentially 6 or 7 mana, so we have to be worried about them hitting one of our lands here with like a Myco Spawn or World Breaker. So maybe like Vestige. Our opponent just scoops it up. Okay. Just gonna run it back. Okay, so this hand's like weird. We can turn 1 Grazer, like turn 2 Analyst. No, we're not really getting anywhere without an Amulet with this hand. Our opponent mulligan to 6. If we go turn 1 Grazer, turn 2 Analyst, Deeps, or like Bounce Land, then we have Deeps to activate Analyst, we could maybe get somewhere. I think we can do better on a mulligan. Alright, this hand is better on the mulligan, so we'll keep it. We don't really have a spot on the curve for our Rumble here, but that doesn't mean it's bad to have access to. So I guess we bottom the... I mean, the map is going to be our extra land drop here, potentially. Although we can find a land drop with Rumble. I guess we bottom map... Yeah, we'll bottom map here. Because Rumble would set us up for a potential... Oh, it might find us an Amulet, first of all. But second of all, it might set us up for a potential Analyst down the line. I think it's probably better than map. Because it can find us a land, too. I have another Utopia Sprawl start. Alright, Vestige is really good. Vestige is really good. Alright, we'll play our Boseiju and Grazer in our Gruul Turf here. Oh, that's right. We just get to Rumble next turn, so not a problem. And turn 3 Ring. Evoke Null Drifter. Just Divination. Seems okay. All right, we'll Rumble here. And I guess we want the Saga, maybe? So we can play Saga. Yeah. And then we just pass to them. Wonder if they play Mwanvuli Acid Moss in the sideboard. I've seen Aspiring Spike play Mwanvuli Acid Moss in that deck. Okay, Utopia Sprawl, so they're going to have 3 mana, 4 mana maybe this turn still. Is this another Null Drifter? Stone Brain with 1 floating. Okay. Do we need to Boseiju the Stone Brain? I feel like maybe we don't, if I'm being completely honest. I think I'm gonna opt to just play the Ring this turn, and we'll draw with this, and pass to our opponent. We actually have Titan next turn. Alright, opponent has a Sowing Myco Spawn to search for a land. Eldrazi Temple. I would have expected them to get Ugin's Lab so they could exile a card and be able to activate the Stonebrain here, but now I feel like they're probably just dead, to be honest. Alright, let's float with our Saga here. So grab an Amulet, of course. And then we'll play Vestige. We'll make a green, slam Titan. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess we can leave the red floating so we don't have to get red source here. I think it's worth it. So we can get Hanweir and something else. And that something else might very well be Shifting Woodland. We have Sorcery, Land, Enchantment. So if they do have a way to kill our Titan, then like, all right, that's kind of what I thought. We just win the match. I'll take it. Game or match 3. All right, we have a fantastic Spelunking hand here, so we'll keep it. Our opponent is on the Mold 5. That is unfortunate for them. We've naturally drawn Hanweir, which is not naturally the best, but, you know. Let's see what our Mold 5 opponent has. Scalding Tarn. DRC. Okay, well, let's play a Grazer. And we'll just put in our basic forest, I guess. I'm more inclined to have this in play to potentially sacrifice than Hanweir, at least at this point. So we got Mountain into, or Bloodstained Mire. Okay, I guess I'll block this. I'm okay with that. That was really weird. Okay, we'll play a Saga, I guess. If our opponent was on Boros, I'd be more scared about just naturally playing out a Saga, but since they're on most likely black-red here, I'm probably okay with it. Yep, and there's the Blood Crypt, so again, not surprised. Here's a Bowmaster. We'll just let all this go. Another Saga, huh? I'm not going to play with fire here. I think I'd rather just put in the Hanweir in case our opponent does have, like, Blood Moon somehow. And then next turn, we just get to Lotus Field and go ham. All right, we are going to block the army here, because if they want a Bowmaster to grow this to 3, I just don't care. That means that they're probably just cold in the water to this Primeval Titan, so Emperor of Bones. I literally don't care. All right, so we can Growth Chamber here, or we can Lotus Field. If we Lotus Field, we get to leave Hanweir untapped, and we don't have to copy it, so we can get a red land and something else with our Titan entering, potentially. Alternative, oh, we have Vesuva in hand. That's awkward. Yeah, so we actually, if we want to be able to haste Titan, we have to play Lotus Field here, so I guess I am going to do that. Have it enter untapped, and then we'll float green to this, and I guess we just have to accept that we're losing the Blood Moon and sack our 2 forests. I guess we're not really losing the Blood Moon because we can use our Titan to attack and grab... Okay, we just win. I was going to say we can use our Titan to attack and grab the other 2 forests that we play and still not be dead to that. Alright, so we're boarding out these 8 and bringing in these 8. Sounds pretty decent. Our opponent keeps 7 also. Ha! That's a good one. All right, let's lead on Saga, I guess. Let's hope our opponent doesn't have an Alpine Moon or something. If they do, then we'll cry. And if they don't, then we'll be good. All right, our opponent attacked for 1 and passed. So here we have an option. We can pick up the Saga with our Cruel Turf and pass so that we don't get blown out by Blood Moon. However, our hand currently really isn't beating Blood Moon. Magus we probably can beat with Fire Spout. Blood Moon, we'd have to draw a basic forest of which we only play 4 to be able to use this Boseiju. It's not impossible, but it's pretty unlikely. I think it's going to be probably best to go like Vestige pass. If we play Saga, we just are accepting that we're completely losing to Blood Moon or Magus, which we don't necessarily need to do that. I think I'm inclined to play Vestige here, although Vestige is our untapped green or red source for Fire Spout next turn, so maybe we're just playing the Bog here. It's kind of useless when they haven't even used their channel or like set up their graveyard at all, but maybe it's okay. Although we have Boseiju as an untapped green source for Spelunking next turn. We just only need the Vestige if we're going to cast Fire Spout, which we might. They probably have a Bowmaster here. I guess I'm going to play out the Bog. I mean, we could just play the Boseiju. That's also bad against Blood Moon. I think we're not beating Blood Moon, but we might be beating Magus. So I'm going to play the Boseiju here. And that means that next turn we can Vestige into Fire Spout or just play Spelunking, depending. And if our opponent has Blood Moon or Magus, then we only lose 1 land this way. There's the Bowmaster. Just yield through the turn here. We got Arid Mesa. Nethergoyf. Okay. Just flooding the board with creatures that will die to Fire Spout is fine with me. Goblin Lore. Okay. Now they have a Nethergoyf that survives and Hollow One. Okay, it's kind of a problem. I guess we can Endurance them. All right, let's float here. Go get Amulet for sure. So we can Endurance pitching Spelunking and then Fire Spout so they only have Hollow One left over. I guess we Fire Spout first and then Endurance them so that they'll only have a Nethergoyf in the yard after everything is said and done. Let's see, we can play Vestige and just cast Spelunking, and then put in Bounce Land and Fire Spout and just let them have both a Nethergoyf and a Hollow One, and if we draw a green card that we can pitch to Endurance, then we get to kill the Nethergoyf also and keep Spelunking in play, although since we have Amulet, we probably don't need that. So I guess we probably go... Oh, wait, hold on. To Fire Spout, we need red. So then I guess we go Vestige, Endurance, Pitch Spelunking, Fire Spout. I would like to be able to play Urza Saga here. We could also Gruul Turf to pick up Boseiju, and that way we're beating Blood Moon also. I don't know if I expect our opponent to have Blood Moon. If they had it, they would have slammed it. So I think I'm going Vestige, Fire Spout, Endurance. I'm going to float a red here. And then we're going to pitch cast Endurance first. No. We Fire Spout first, then pitch cast Endurance. Right, and now we go Endurance, pitch Spelunking, and we target them. And now we pass the turn. So now it's the Hollow One against us. We can Gruul Turf to pick up the Boseiju to kill the Hollow One as well. Damping Sphere. Okay. We Well, we can also try to take it a little bit slower and just play the Saga out here, because maybe we can win through Damping Sphere if our opponent doesn't have anything. Take one more hit from Hollow One, go to 5, and then be able to make a chump blocker, or just Boseiju the Hollow One, depending on what goes on. We'll have to find out. DRC, okay. Burning Inquiry, okay. Alright, we still have our Bounce Land here, so that's not too bad. Echoing Deep's looking quite nice here. Lotus Field, huh? That doesn't really do anything yet. So now we Boseiju the Hollow One, take 3 down to 2, and just hope and pray, I guess. I guess we alternatively could Boseiju the Damping Sphere and then block the Hollow One, and then untap with Lotus Field and, like, Lumra the turn after. That's not too bad. Oh, wait, hold on, we can't... Oh, yeah, so that would lose to a removal spell, but that's about it. I think I'm Boseijuing the Damping Sphere here. Going for Lumra next turn, seeing what happens. So they swing both. We'll make a blocker here. Trump the Hollow One, and then now we get to go ham with the Lumra. Hopefully that's good enough. Double Nethergoyf. Okay, so we can neutral... Oh, the ring is really dang good here. Okay, so we're gonna float here, get an Amulet. We go Lotus Field, almost certainly. Gotta make sure I'm not yielding to my Amulets by accident here. Float green, and we'll sack these 2. I don't know why it's not working. Moto is having a fit. Alright, sack these 2. Play Lumra. Bring everything back. Always yield to this. Okay, that's a lot of triggers. So we're gonna keep one of these Boseijus, stack our Lotus Field, and then we're going to bog them at the end of all of our triggers. I have our Vestiges, and then all of our Amulets. Goodness, my computer hates this. So we would love to be able to pick up the Boseiju here before we have to bog our opponent, but unfortunately we don't have that ability. I guess we could have sacrificed the Gruul Turf intentionally to make that happen, but I wonder if we just have our opponent dead here. We very well might. If we float red here, we can haste our Lumra with our Hanweir, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and haste this bad guy right now. See, this is a 10-10? Oh, hold on. Okay, so hasting is not going to work. Oh, also we can just one ring here and not be dead, so that's cool. Float green and I guess a blue here in case we draw something. We'll bog them. And then to the Lotus Field, I guess we'll sack the field itself. Hold on, let me float blue with the Lotus Field. Now we'll just sack double Vestige, I think. We'll sack the Lotus Field and Crumbling just in case Analyst becomes relevant. We'll play Ring here. And I think we're safe to go ahead and draw here. I guess that makes us dead to Bowmaster. I am going to draw, though. There's a lot of good draws here. Kessig Wolfrun is probably lethal. Primeval Titan is probably lethal, too. That's one is probably lethal. Nice. Okay. That's not bad, huh? So now we go Mirror Pool and I guess Tolaria West. Sorry, opponent, but this game is no longer yours to win. Right? And now we just Mirror Pool our Titan. And we're also going to go ahead and haste our Titan, too. And with our new Titan, we will search for Vesuva Copy and Bounce Land, I guess. Or we can do Shifting Woodland and Bounce Land and be able to do the Analyst thing. That's probably correct. All right, opponents, you are very dead here. I don't know if you know that, but you are. We'll pick up our T-West, Transmute, get Summoner's Pact, get Analyst, play Analyst, and then we'll mill and activate. All right, that is a decent number of triggers. It's a non-zero amount. We'll keep the tap Boseiju, I guess, since it's making 2 mana. I clicked the wrong one, but it doesn't matter. And we win the match. Nice, finally. Alrighty, match 4 on the play. All right, and we got a good hand, so I'll keep it. Go turn 1 Mirror Pool. All right, we got a Misty Rainforest and a pass, maybe. Fetching, Basic Island, Preordain. Okay, so probably like Dimir Murktide or something. 2 bottom, okay. We'll go Amulet, and we'll go, I guess, Gruul Turf, just so we have the green in play. And then we'll play our map here and pass the turn. See if our opponent has the turn 2 Frog. All right, our opponent mills the Psychic Frog with the mill land here, and then passes back to us. I'm okay with this outcome. I guess let's go ahead and play the Mirror Pool, and then Spelunking. I refuse to believe our opponent has Spell Pierce, because they simply don't. They just do not. Oh, come on. Of course you freaking have Spell Pierce. Of course you have Spell Pierce. Gross. Okay. Well, oh well. Might be mapping for Saga, to be honest, depending on if our opponent has the Harbinger here or not. If they have Harbinger, we'll go to game 2. If they don't, they gain control of our amulet. Okay, someone is packed. All right, let's map for Saga, play Saga, and then pass back to them. Preordain. Let's hope they don't find the Harbinger that they're probably looking for. Top, bottom. Okay, they found a land and a frog. Okay. A frog is fine by me. All right, we're going to explore here, and if they spell pierce, we probably have to say no, let it get countered, so that we can have a blocker for their frog. So I think if they spell pierce, we might just let them have it. Oh, they're just milling. Okay, that's fine. Oh, no, they actually have Amulet, so this lets them untap. That's very smart by them. See what they mill over. Oh, they're just gonna spell pierce before they even see what they're spell snare. Okay, that makes sense. But at least there's no choice there. At least we just have to let them do their thing. We'll play Wolf Run. And then pass back to them. We probably do want to chump the frog. I could be wrong, though. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just make a token, untap, make another token. That doesn't seem that bad. They're discarding to put counters. They discarded a Fatal Push? Really? Okay, that's curious. Playing like a Murktide here? I don't know what our opponent is doing. They only have 2 cards. I think I'm going to let our opponent have it and then just make 2 Saga tokens here. I think that's our best route. The extra card, it sucks, but we can't really worry about that right now. They might have a second Fatal Push just because they feel comfortable discarding one. Yeah, it looks like they're going to push Bowmasters. Yeah, can't really get around that. And they probably are holding up a counterspell here too. And we can make them have it and just jam a Lumra. Second Amulet, huh? We can pact for Analyst. They might feel like they have to counter it. So we tap... Yeah, I think we're going to pack for Analyst, and then if it doesn't resolve, then we Lumra. Analyst being a 2-mana threat here that they pretty much have to counter is really nice. And they only have 2 cards, so they can't counterspell and then also Subtlety us. So let's get Amulet. We'll play an Amulet, I guess, and see if they have anything they want to do about this. And Lumra would be better to resolve than Analyst here for sure. So let's go ahead and pack for Analyst, because Lumra has reach and can block the frog pretty well. All right, we'll get Analyst. We'll play Simic here, and we're going to leave it in play, picking up, I guess, like Wolf Run or something, so that we can pay for our pact. And we want to play the Analyst immediately so they can't just Fatal Push it with the Analyst trigger on the stack. I mean, they can still do that, but let this go. If they're going to kill it, they have to do it now, and they don't. So now we can get back Otawara as well, and still be able to play our Lumra. So we can Otawara bounce the Psychic Frog. It's not too bad. Play Lumra, and get the Saga back into play, and even maybe be able to mirror pool something. All right, I'm going for it. Leave a blue floating, I suppose. Although we're gonna get blue from the Otawara. That's so, you know, it's what it is. But I'm gonna be making 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are we even supposed to jam the Lumra this turn? Because we don't have to. Let's float with the Otawara here and pick it up. It's a pretty easy thing to do. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana, which is enough to Otawara and then Lumra if we want to. Do we even want to cast the Lumra here is the thing. I think we should. I think we need to be honest. And then if it resolves, we can respond to the trigger by Otawara bouncing, so we get the Otawara back at least. They have the counterspell, it looks like. They do. Okay. So let's go ahead and bounce their frog, I guess. And now we pay for our pact, and we can make a Saga token, which will be a 3/3, which is not a small number. And then we even might be able to mirror pool our token. It's probably a little hasty, but if we draw a Titan, we can just cast it, since we've already gotten through their likely 1 counterspell. They hopefully don't have a second, but they could, considering they play Archmage's Charm also. They consider, okay. See if they put on top or bottom here. They graveyard Bowmasters, okay. We'll take 2 here, not too worried about that. Wolf Run actually could just kill them out of nowhere here, pretty much. There's the frog. They're holding up exactly 2 mana, so if we draw a Titan or a Ring right now, they absolutely have to have counterspell or we're good. So we'll say... Why does it say no? Here we go. Okay, Vestige ain't really doing much, unfortunately. So we'll play Wolf Run and pass. Okay, pass the turn. I guess now we can get Talaria West if we, like, get map. Oh, we already have map in the graveyard. That sucks. All right, well, I am going to make a Saga token here to attempt to block. I'm going to have a push. Man, this card is so good. Psychic Frog is kind of a messed up card, isn't it? All right, let's do the Saga thing. They can also just give it flying, which is pretty ridiculous. So we can Vestige here so that we can mirror pool our Construct and also play the One Ring. It's not really a great double threat kind of turn, though, because all it takes is a push and a counterspell, and we're kind of done for. We can also just lead on Ring here and see what happens. I don't know that waiting is actually making it much better for us. They've already used 2 counterspells. No, just 1 counterspell, it looks like. So counterspell, Archmage's Charm. They could easily have another. They're drawing a card every time they get to connect here, though. I think we're kind of forced into playing the Ring here. I don't love it, but I think we have to. Counterspell, of course. Okay. Well, we can copy our construct here. I guess we don't want to do that, though, because if we are managed to resolve a Titan, they can't Fatal Push a Titan, but they can always Fatal Push a Construct, so I think we just have to pass it back. Oh, wait, I want to play the Vestige, though. But yeah, let's not use the Mirror Pool just yet. We still need to draw something to be able to win this game, so... Alright, we'll pass it back. And they did have the Fatal Push, so it's a good thing that I didn't go for the Mirror Pool copy. Alright, Titan off the top is what we're looking for, and for our opponent not to have the, like, additional counterspell here. It's kind of a big ask, to be honest, to be able to draw a threat and also have them not have counterspell. Well, there's a threat. Please resolve. Thank you very much. Please resolve, Mr. One Ring. Oy. Force of Negation. Okay. Your go, I guess. Fun game. If we draw a Summoner's Pact, we can Mirror Pool to copy the Summoner's Pact. I don't know how good that would be, though, to be honest. Is this only... No, it's at instant speed. Yeah, so we could do it in response to them having a counterspell in the Summoner's Pact, maybe. Them having land is good. Vesuva. Oh, it's not looking great. Let's copy Mirror Pool, I guess. Alright, and we'll just hope and pray that we draw something good, and our opponent's 5 cards are all blank. They charm to draw 2. That means that we're very dead, so I'm gonna scoop it up. Alrighty, we're siding these 9 cards out, and these 9 cards in. Alright, we'll be on the play here. Well, this hand's kind of awkward. If we go turn 1 Saga, we at least get to get an Amulet before we just lose to Magus. Play turn 3 Ring or Spelunking, perhaps. It's really not the best hand, but I don't think we can afford to mulligan it, to be honest, so I guess we'll keep it. Our opponent mulligans to 6. If they just play an early Frog here, we're just kind of dead. So we'll play Saga and pass? Question mark? Defense Grid would be a fantastic draw. I think if we top deck Defense Grid, we probably win pretty easily. Another 1 Ring's not doing too much. We'll play our Forest and pass. I think next turn we probably just play Ring, because it's the most mana efficient. Force them to have a Force here. No matter what we play, it's gonna get hosed by Force, so... Although I guess we could have played Echoing Deeps copying the Urza Saga, potentially. That would be really bad against a freaking Magus, though. Alright, we'll pass to you. Leading on a turn 3 Ring here is not too bad. And they don't have Magus, so that's great. We go top-bottom here. Alright, we'll lose our 1 and then draw 2 with a Ring. Woodland's not a bad pickup at all. Ooh, and now we can Endurance at instant speed. If we go Woodland, pass, Endurance, we can untap and play another Ring. Do we want a Deeps Saga this turn? I don't think so. Yeah, we'll just Woodland. I don't think we need the Spelunking at this point. I guess they could potentially steal our Ring, and that would be annoying. Gotta discard 2 cards here. Jeez. I think it's Spelunking, because it's gonna be too slow, and like a land. Don't particularly want to discard Hanweir, but I also want my Forest in case our opponent has Magus. Maybe it's just Lumra, to be honest. I feel like Lumra's not a fantastic threat. You know what, though? I'm going to err on the side of caution. I'm just going to discard the Deeps, I think. Alright, we'll let them attack here, and then we'll Endurance. And if they want to pitch their whole hand to kill our Endurance, I guess that's fine. Oh, they're just going for some pitches here now. Alright, well, we're going to Endurance, I suppose. Get rid of some instants from their grave, or instants and sorceries, and then force them to pump up their Frog at least 2 more times. Not the end of the world. They could counterspell this, I suppose, if they want to. They're thinking hard about this. And they do counterspell. Fascinating. Okay. Pay 3 for Sulphurous Springs. Right, Titan. We'll draw 3 here. Another Amulet. Analyst, Explorer. Interesting. So we lead on Amulet here. They probably have to counter it, and then we play Bounce Land Ring. I guess we can cycle Explorer first, after they counter this Amulet, most likely. Yep, there's a spell. Oh, we could pay the Spell Pierce, though. I think we pay the Spell Pierce. Okay, Resolve. Okay, so now we could Explore, or we could just jam Ring. I guess Ring is bad against the one that counters a colorless spell. Explore is bad against Spell Snare, but I think Explore is going to be the better play here. And we just pick up the other Gruul Turf, I guess. Play Explore. See if our opponent has anything they want to do about this. Okay, it resolves. So if we play a creature here, it probably just gets Subtlety'd. But if they Subtlety, they have to get rid of 2 cards from their hand as opposed to 1, so it's better to make them Subtlety here. See, if we Lumra back these 2 lands, we'll be able to get double Saga. We'd have to mill a green source, and then we'd be able to play a Titan afterwards, potentially. Let's play Gruul Turf here, because I think that's going to be part of the equation no matter what. We're probably supposed to pick up the Shifting Woodland, I think. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the Woodland. We can play Analyst, and then if they interact with the Analyst, we can jam 1 Ring, and if they don't, we might be able to bring all our lands back, so Analyst is probably the play here. It resolves. All right, let's see if we hit any lands here, because if we do, then we probably get to play a bunch of threats. I guess they could Fatal Push the Analyst now. Okay, so now, if we jam another ring, they simply have to have Force of Negation. So if we activate now, we get 2 Urza Sagas, and then get to play the ring, as long as I stack all the triggers correctly. So that's probably fine. We'll just activate Analyst now. I guess copying the Saga is bad if our opponent does have Magus. So we're going to only go with 1 Saga, I think. We'll stick with 1 Saga, right, and stack all of the amulets. All right, we'll just float our 4 mana here, let the Fatal Push go, and jam a ring, which snap resolves. We love to see that. We'll keep the new ring, and then we will pass. There's a Sky Turtle in the yard that we can copy with Woodland. That's pretty cool. There's a Harbinger, so we played around this by leaving the deeps in play. Do we want to draw here? Our opponent's attacking with Psychic Frog, not realizing that we have ring protection, so... I should have drawn. Oops, whatever. I guess we'll just not lose the life here. Ooh, Pact. We could Pact for Grazer. We could play Forest, Pact for Grazer, play Grazer, put in Woodland, and then bounce Harbinger on their instep, untap, pay for Pact, and be able to start going ham again. I don't think packing for Grazer's awful here. I guess if they settle to the Grazer, we lose instantaneously. Let's, I guess, draw with a ring real quick and see what we find. Another Forest. So I guess we play Woodland here. We can even just Woodland Analyst or something. I don't know. We're definitely going to play Woodland. And then we'll end of turn, Otawara the Harbinger, and then untap. We discard, I guess, something that we want to be able to bring back with Analyst. So Forest. We can go to instep. Otawara coming in clutch here, for sure. And we have to wait until the very last second to bounce this. I think we probably want to bounce it now, though, because next turn we'll have 6... Oh, we don't have a bounce land here, unfortunately. 6... So we have like 7 mana total. I guess we could draw a bounce land from one of our 3 draws here. It doesn't hurt to wait, but I think I am going to go ahead and Otawara. It could be wrong, though. I guess it's really bad against like Counterspell plus Subtlety or something like that. We can wait a little bit longer. Let's try to find a defense grid or something, I think. Tolaria West, okay. So if we draw with the ring, we're taking... They could bump this up to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we would potentially be dead there. So I guess we go Forest Pass. We could also go to discard Pitch Forest and then be able to copy Analyst with Woodland and bring all these things back, potentially. 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that would work. Then we bring back 1, 2, 3 lands. Not a whole lot. I guess we can draw with the ring here. Nah, if we draw with the ring, we just die. 7, 8, 9. Oh, we're losing here anyways, the frog. If they go all in the frog, I guess we can just bounce the frog. So I guess we're going to play Forest here and pass. Oh, we can't Pact for a Sky Turtle, now I'm thinking about it, because the Sky Turtle's gone. Probably need to just go ahead and bounce this, but that's alright. We'll play Forest and pass, I guess. And draw 2 cards with Charm, that's fine. We can also Woodland Ring, so that we don't lose the life from our ring. That wouldn't be too crazy. Alright, we'll just take this damage here. Unless our opponent wants to discard a bunch of cards. Alright, we'll just let this go, I guess. Pitching another Psychic Frog, pitching a Bowmasters. This is 6. I guess we just take 6, that's fine. That's okay. Go to 4. I guess potentially they could get us with a Bowmaster if we're not careful here, or double Bowmaster even. We can draw now because it's safe from Bowmaster, and then untap, and then we draw now, then Otawara their Harbinger, and then untap. And if they have double Bowmaster, we lose to that. But otherwise, we get the extra cards that we need. So I think we draw now. Another Amulet's quite good. That's a very good one. And now we Otawara their Harbinger. We do have to win this turn, though. There's Bowmaster. See if they have the second one. They discarded one, so we're going to 1. This was calculated, though. Going to 1. Okay. So we can play Amulet, and then Lotus Field's making 9 mana, and also letting us copy the Analyst as well. So I think we're going to be pretty much set here. We'll play Lotus Field, and we even have the Echoing Deeps, like I had mentioned at the beginning here. Echoing Deeps letting us copy Lotus Field when they both come back from the graveyard, so that's very nice. Let's float here. Just float a bunch of green, and then we'll sack the Deeps and the Lotus Field. We'll float with our Woodland, and then we'll Woodland copy our Analyst. See if they have like a Cling to Dust or something. Ah, it went through. No freaking way. Okay, well, let's activate Analyst, I guess. I think that we're going to win this turn. It's just a feeling that I have, but I think we're going to win this turn. This is infinite mana for sure, and we have 4 whole threats that we can go for here. They're drawing... Oh, they're making us draw 2 cards with Archmage's Charm? What in the world? Oh my gosh, what a way to freaking win. Is there anything we can pack for here? That is wild. Jesus. Hold on, I gotta screenshot this for Twitter. Holy crap. I cannot believe this. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna lose. What a way to lose, huh? Let's draw up the ring too, why not? Concede the game. Well, that is unfortunate, but very stylistic way for our opponent to win here. I'm sure that they know they were very dead otherwise. Huh. Rest in peace. All right, one more. All right, we'll keep this for sure. I've not been impressed by Lumra, I have to say. I just have not been impressed. We're playing the mirror, by the way. We have Malevolent Rumble in the mirror. We'll see how good it performs. Our hand's not bad. Might be a little slow. Wait, that's Urza's mine. I thought that was Urza's cave. I don't know why I thought that we were playing the mirror. All right, well, all right, I guess we're just playing Mirror Pool here. And a map. Pass back. Our opponent has the Tron. Thought Not Seer, you can take your pick here. I've got all good ones. They do take a Summoner's Pact. It's kind of interesting. Visager off the top is not bad. That is one that we call pretty decent. All right, let's go, I guess, Gruul Turf. And then we will explore here. Spelunking, okay. Okay, so we can go Boseiju into Spelunking, put in Simic. Or we can Simic, Spelunking, Simic, play Malevolent Rumble, and still be able to Boseiju our opponent. But we want to be able to get Lumra next turn, so I think we just play the Boseiju here. And then we play Spelunking, put in our Simic here, and have it enter untapped. Pick up the Boseiju here. I guess we could just ignore their Tron for one more turn and just play Rumble, so that next turn we'll be able to just cast Lumra. I don't know what I'm super scared of from their Tron lands. I guess like a World Breaker or a, what's the 4-mana one? Myco Spawn. Those would probably be the worst things. They're probably enough of a problem to Boseiju here. It's worth noting that if this Rumble were an Explorer, the next turn we'd be much better off. We'd be able to explore into Lumra, but there's no guarantee that we'll find something off Malevolent Rumble that lets us get Lumra in play next turn. I think I'm going to err on the side of Boseijuing them. Let's see, what did they search for with the map? Oh, wait. They mapped for Boseiju. That's interesting. Well, I mean, we know that they can just Boseiju our bounce land. I don't know if that makes me scared or not. I mean, to Lumra next turn, we're going to have to rumble into a Lotus Field anyways, which we can map for, so we're just going to go ahead and Boseiju their tower, question mark? I guess tower. This also just gives us an extra land to be able to put into play with Lumra. But yeah, I have to admit, I have not been super impressed by Lumra. I know that some people swear by it. I just don't really see the utility. Oh, and they didn't have anything to search for. They had the forest in hand, huh? That's lucky of us, I guess. All right, we'll take our 4 here. Very happy with how this turn played out, considering they didn't even have a forest to search for. And they didn't have replacement Tron land, so I'm okay with this. All right, so I guess we rumble first to see if we can find a second amulet, maybe. Oh, they Boseiju us. Okay, that's fine. Get a forest. Okay, so we rumble, and then we can Lumra, and then what? Lumra brings back a bunch of lands, but then we don't actually have anything to kill our opponent. I guess we could Boseiju one of their Tron lands again. That's not bad. If we rumble and find, I guess we want to rumble before Lumra so that we can maybe have more lands to put into play as well. Ooh, okay, One Ring is a great thing to play after this. So we grab the One Ring, dump these lands in the graveyard, map using the token and forest for, oh, wait, we don't have a second amulet. I don't know why I'm thinking that a Lotus Field gets us to the mana for Lumra right now. It was only potentially going to do that, I guess, if we found an amulet. But anyways. Well, we can Vesuva copy Gruul Turf and play our One Ring here. So we're definitely taking the One Ring. Still, this is a really good setup for our Lumra sooner rather than later. Let's Vesuva copy the Gruul Turf. Have it enter untapped, sure. And then we'll pick up the forest, and then we'll pop our spawn here and cast the ring. And we'll draw and swing it back to our opponent. So now we need to find another bounce land or Lotus Field or a Echoing Deeps, and then we'll be able to Lumra this upcoming turn. Our opponent has their own One Ring, which I don't really particularly care about, if I'm being completely honest. I guess we could potentially also draw a Grazer or something like that to be able to get Lumra into play. Not a Grazer. A Grazer wouldn't work yet. All right, we found the bounce land. I'm still going to draw here, though. All right, so bounce land into Lumra, it looks like, is going to be the play. We'll pick up the Vesuva, I guess. Here is one Lumra. Big boy. We'll just say 3 to a lot of these to have them all enter untapped. All right, we go lots of bounces on the stack too. We have a T-West. Yeah, that makes sense. So we were going to be able to transmute T-West and then do Titan things. So good game. All right, we're boarding these 3 cards out because of Karn, and we're being these 3 cards in from the sideboard. This hand's fantastic. We will keep that one for sure. This is turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Spelunking. Love that. They have a Devourer here. See what card they reveal. Oh, that's right, they don't reveal. They just exile the 3 they didn't pick. They didn't pick Mine, Hulamog the Ceaseless Hunger, or Map. Okay. Okay, let's go Beseiju. I guess we could Grazer here. Grazer and Vestige and then play Amulet. I think that makes sense, so that next turn we can Spelunking and still be able to Beseiju our opponent. Here's a Vestige. She'll float a green. Then we'll play Amulet. Pass to you. They could have Forest, Haywire Might, exile Amulet, and that would be kind of sad. Even then, we still just Beseiju them probably. There's Tower. Okay, so if we go Gruul Turf, pick up Vestige, put in other Gruul Turf, then we can Beseiju our opponent. There's Spelunking. Oh, another bounce line is actually not bad at all. Let's put the Simic in play, I guess. Have it enter untapped. Float with the Beseiju for no particular reason, and then we're just going to go ahead and Beseiju our opponent's tower, and then it'll be your go. I guess next turn we could potentially Aftermath and then activate it if we want to. Ugin's Lab, okay. Here comes Thought-Knot Seer, probably. One Ring. Okay. One Ring is, again, totally fine. Another Amulet, huh? Okay. Let's start with playing Aftermath Analyst. How about that? See what we mill. Tolaria West. Okay, so now we can play Amulet, then play Gruul Turf, and with the bounce trigger on the stack, activate Analyst, and that might be enough mana. Let's see, so if we play Gruul Turf, we'll have 5, activate Analyst down to 1, return Beseiju T West, float 4 up to 5. We can bounce Tolaria West. Do we need to bounce Beseiju here, though? Alternatively, we could just Vestige here. And hold on, we don't want a Vestige. So we could bounce Beseiju their lab. They already have their forest in play. We know they don't have another land to search for, so putting them down to 3 lands in play doesn't seem too bad. I think, although if we transmute for Titan, if we transmute now for Summoner's Pact, then that means next turn we can Titan them, even if they blow up one of our lands or amulets. So I think we're probably supposed to transmute this turn. I'm gonna go for the transmute. We are not gonna have it enter untapped though. And then with the bounce on the stack, we activate the Analyst, bring back these 2, say no to these, and now we transmute, and we will get Summoner's Pact. Pass to our opponent. I'm wondering if this is a game where I got punished for playing out the Grazer on 1. I don't know if a Grazer would have changed any of our lines at any point at this moment, but it's possible having the Grazer in hand would have been the difference between being able to play a Titan or like do some crazy Aftermath Analyst combo or something like that. It's not impossible. Let me know in the comments below if you thought that playing the Grazer out on 1 was a little premature. Eldrazi Temple. So we got 4, 5, 6 mana for Eldrazi here. They play Karn. Okay. That's why we boarded out 2 rings and a map. Chalice. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Summoner's Pact in response. Let's not get Karn punked here. All right, and we will get Titan for certain. All right, so let's pay our due taxes here. Our opponent almost punked us. They almost got us. It was a good play by them. I'm not gonna lie. It was actually a good play. We wanted to enter tap, so we're gonna say no to this. You sneaky little opponent! I saw what you're trying to do there. I got the fastest fingers in the West. All right, let's kill our opponent here. How are we supposed to do that, though? We can go Lotus Field. Hold on, let's see. So we have instant land creature sorcery. So we can go Lotus Field, Shifting Woodland, and then start comboing that way. Although our combo doesn't really do much. So the very obvious first step is Mirror Pool. And probably Lotus Field is totally fine. Mirror Pool, Lotus Field. We want the Lotus Field to enter tapped, and we want the Mirror Pool to enter tapped. And now we can easily do the Aftermath Analyst thing without having to worry about our opponent having Chalice. So we'll go green, colorless. We'll go green and copy. Right, and now we can do that even again by getting a Deeps copying Mirror Pool and a Lotus. All right. So we ended up 3-2. Not a bad record, but I feel like there's definitely room for improvement. I think maybe going down to 2 Grazers is a little too skimp on ramp effects. I think the 3rd Grazer is necessary. I am just not a fan of this card. I don't like Lumra like at all. There's most of the times it's like just worse than Titan or Analyst. So I think that trimming Lumra is fine, and I totally think that the 3rd Analyst is actually worth it, especially in this build. Maybe in a Dryad build, the 3rd Analyst is not needed, but in the Spelunking, no Dryad build, you definitely want the 3rd Analyst for sure. I do think Malevolent Rumble is probably worse than Explore here. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to test it a bit, but I don't know. I think it's probably better to play the Explorers. So maybe something like this. I don't particularly think the 4th Forest is super necessary. I think we can get away with trimming it probably. Just because when we're losing to moon effects, it's actually usually the blue Magus where we just need our Otawara or Sky Turtle. We have Fire Spout for Magus and Boseijus for Blood Moon, so I think we have the red ones covered. It's just the blue ones we really care about. So I could definitely see maybe trimming Forest, playing Boseiju instead, and making up some room in the sideboard here. What else? I don't know that the second Echoing Deeps really came up. We probably don't have to be playing it. I think 3 Lotus Fields is just fine. And then in the sideboard, that frees up some space for, potentially, a copy of Aether Spellbomb. This is a artifact that you can use a blue to bounce a creature. We can use this as an answer to our opponent's Magus. Obviously, it is technically a Saga tutor target, but usually in that matchup, we're boarding out Saga. But it's just another thing to draw. I don't really know that that's actually better than just playing a second Sky Turtle, though. I actually think Sky Turtle is reasonable, because even against them, we can copy Sky Turtle from the graveyard with one of our 3 shifting woodlands, and I do think the 3rd woodland is good. So I think Sky Turtle is actually marginally better than playing something like Aether Spellbomb. And then we can use the additional space, I think, to play another Defense Grid, because I think we really just need to see this card against the blue opponents. Maybe the 4th Defense Grid is kind of overkill, but I don't think it's bad. I'd actually be kind of interested in maybe playing a pair of Sowing Mycospawns in the sideboard as a way to tutor up our Lotus Field if needed. A threat that lets us get an uncounterable, land search trigger. Maybe even then it's worth, playing a Cavern in the sideboard, but I kind of doubt it. I think that Mycospawn makes sense. I don't know what else could be in those slots, to be completely honest. But I do think second Sky Turtle is probably actively good, especially against the Through the Breach Emrakul decks and the Magus Harbinger of the Seas decks. I think something like this is somewhat reasonable. Again, these 2 Mycospawns, I really don't know what they should be, and maybe the Foundation Breaker is a little overkill, so I feel like if you want to toy with spots in the sideboard, I would maybe look at these 3. But in general, I feel like this list is very solid. I don't know that not playing Dryad makes it better. I will say it just feels like another good build of Amulet. I can't really say at this point whether I think Dryad is better than Spelunking, but it definitely makes the mana base a lot easier to build. We get to play as many as 8 untapped green sources, and I think that matters. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on the deck, and thank you for joining me for this league. I will see you guys in the next one. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.